Today, we're continuing talking about how we paid off $48,000 worth of debt in under 2 years. This is a several part series. Today's all about the tips from a business and creative perspective. What I did and we did to save money. In a future video, I'll be talking about what we did to bring in extra money. But before we get to that, there's several videos I wanted to break down life into different areas and the mindset shift and the empowering feeling we can get from learning how to save money. It gives us more control in our own lives. Having control over the money and the flow of it. And it gives us more money at the end of the day for the things that really matter, whether that's paying off debt or later once your debt is paid off. It gives you the money for the things in life you really want to spend it on. And I love that. I want to know that my money is going towards companies that I support, dreams that I have, fun things. I don't like spending my money on stuff that I don't want to spend it on. So as much as possible, I try to find ways to rein it in where I can. Here are 7 tips on what we did in the creative realm. The first is, as a business owner, was inventory control. I strictly limited how much I purchased based on what I was actually selling. If I wasn't sure if a new product was going to sell, I didn't go full in on buying a mass amount. I was really strategic. And then once I knew that's what I wanted to do, then I would be really wise and buy in bulk. For my ornaments, for instance, I started finding the suppliers where I could get the packaging, the images, the string, all of the things that I needed. Back when we were paying off debt, I had to get really honest about where I was putting my money because I had an entire line of wine glasses and hand-painted hammers and water goblets and pitchers and endless inventory, canvas art, hand-painted candles. Like, I was doing everything I could get my hands on, basically. And that was great, except for A, space became an issue. And then B, I had to just get honest about, was my energy in still selling those items? Or could I focus on clearing all my inventory and then doing things that were just a little wiser or more streamlined with my business? So for me, that meant going more streamlined. The next was really liquidating our clutter. We had a small house. I had inherited a ton of stuff, and I worked out of that house. And we had 2 kids in that house, including a baby, which you know all the stuff that comes with babies. So we were in a little bit of overwhelm. And so what we started with the easiest stuff, and I started putting things on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. We had a couple of garage sales, cleared out a lot of stuff that way. Then when we moved into the house we're at now, I really amped that up. I got a lot smarter about how I was selling stuff on eBay. I added things like Poshmark in the last several years. There's also places like Mercari or other sites that are similar. We're a little more rural now, so Craigslist is a little bit harder, but we still do try for bigger things to sell on that. And then my husband's still on Facebook, so he'll use Marketplace and be really strategic about which groups he's posting things in, and we'll sell things that way as well. But liquidating things and selling things off has been a huge, huge thing. It brought in extra money. And it also shifted our thinking, so we weren't constantly thinking about how we could buy more and more. We stopped going to stores for fun and completely shifted the way that we shopped. And instead focused on clearing out things that were not our immediate needs while we were paying off that debt. The next thing is creative upcycling. So any things that we had, or there was a time where my husband brought home pallets from his work, and I cut down those pallets into dozens of foot-long pieces, and I hand-painted messages on them, and I sold those all for about $10 to $12 each. And that brought in hundreds of dollars off of something that we got for free. We found free barn wood on the side of the road, and we used that to build our kitchen countertops. So there's so many different things that if you keep your eye out, or free furniture on the side of the road, I would make sure that it had what it needed, and I would paint that and sell it. We would upcycle all kinds of things. I would make sure the stuff that we had already had was in good condition, or at the time painted furniture was very in style. So I would paint the furniture before we sold it to get the most I possibly could out of it. We fully utilized our public libraries. We got books from our library, we got videos, audiobooks, and even sometimes we'd go there and play games. They had a game space just to make it like a fun adventure. So that was a huge thing. We stopped buying movies. We stopped a lot of our streaming services. Like I said at the beginning, while we were paying off debt, we cut cable out. So we depended on these movies and the audiobooks and things from the library. And that has saved us hundreds and hundreds of dollars over the years. I stopped buying someday crafts. We all have it. Like we see something, we're like, someday I'm going to work on this. I had to get really honest about my inventory I currently had, all of the different areas of art I was already pursuing, and I had to stop buying any of that. And in fact, even started clearing out certain sections of that just so I could simplify. I think my brain was in very much overwhelm. And so by simplifying it down, it slowly started to like kind of come back above water and help me make clearer choices. For home decor, I would take old boards that my husband had in the garage and I would paint two sides on them. This was back when like the thank you or the welcome or the give thanks or different holiday messages were very big on front porches. And I could do this on using wood that we already had, that we had probably gotten from my dad or from somebody. And I would paint the messages, but I would always do them two-sided so we could get double the use out of them. This works great for holiday items or a spring message and a fall message, things like that. At the time, I cut off a lot of the subscriptions that I had, but a hack that I did recently is because I'm a student, I was able to order Adobe from Staples Office Supplies and get a complete 1-year Adobe subscription for half the cost of what I would have paid if I was just doing the monthly subscription. And so I canceled my subscription because I had been doing monthly. I canceled that. I bought the year-long Adobe subscription through Staples, downloaded the code, canceled it, signed back up with that same email through the code. It was seamless. All of my stuff was still there, and I saved myself hundreds of dollars. So I would encourage you to look at other things like that you're doing. Are you paying for creative services? Are you paying for different software subscriptions? Really, really get real about which things are actually helping you make money, which things are really bringing you joy, because I do think there can be a value if you are paying for something that genuinely is bringing you joy and keeping you moving forward in life and thriving and actually saving you money because you're not going out and seeking other things or spending money. So just gut check yourself on that. Ask yourself if there is a way that is helping you or hurting you, but be really honest about what's a need and what's a want. And try to cut out most of the wants. The faster you can get out of this debt and pay it off, the more money you're going to have. And so for us, I was willing to just go like full force because I would rather have gone full force and have it be done in less than 2 years than stay in a comfort zone and make it take 3, 4, 5 years. That felt too much to me. So I am the type where I was like, no, we're doing this, then we're doing this. So that's what we did. Thankfully, we were all on board about it, and we made it really fun as a family. We were all in on it and really just tried to enjoy the process and enjoy the simple times together. We started taking walks together and going on bike rides together, things that we could do for free, and made it really fun. So hopefully these were helpful to you. I have a few videos already in this series that I've posted. I will put links in the description for this entire playlist. And I have a few more that I'm going to do as well. Next week is all about the financial disciplines, what we did and our mindset shifts and actual things that we did to get serious about paying the $48,000. Because as many of you know, you don't wake up one day and you're like, oh, I have $48,000. Today's the day I'm going to pay it off. No, there's a pain that's felt with that. And there is a feeling of hopelessness maybe for so long, or at least convincing yourself that this is just the way that it is. The economy's bad, or this is going on, and what am I going to do about it? And you have to shift your thinking on that and ignore all of the outside clues and instead just get laser focused on what you're doing. Forget what the world is telling you about any of it. Doesn't matter, because when you are focused, you have to know that when all of your energy is being put into that, it will change your momentum. It will change all of your ways that you've been going and have you hit your goal so much sooner. You are powerful when you put your energy into something. Remind yourself that. So those are some of the tips of what I did. They all may not seem like a big deal individually, but collectively, they saved us $48,000 and allowed us to pay that off. So join me again for the next video. Subscribe so you'll know when it comes. And I'm so happy you were here. If you have any tips you'd add to this list, please share them in the comments. I would love to hear. All right, bye.